Hey, so recently the Department of Homeland Security on their social media posted this image over a montage video of military operations and actions, helicopters flying, people rappelling out of helicopters and jumping out of planes. And this, if you're Christian, and maybe even if you're not, you will recognize as one of the Beatitudes from Jesus's teaching, often called the Sermon on the Mount. And that verse specifically is part of these blessings that Jesus gives. And he says, blessed are the peacemakers. And that's from Matthew 5:9. And if you're a Christian, this should not square well with you. Like, you should have a problem with this, because I've been in enough sermons and heard enough sermons preached and heard enough pastors talk about it that we are peacemakers, not peace keepers. And they kind of clumsily sometimes they do well, but clumsily like make their way through this idea of peacekeeping versus peacemaking. And I just want to kind of reiterate the difference between the two, where peacekeeping is when a force, a group, when people go into a place where there has been violent conflict and maintain peace between those parties, typically like the UN peacekeepers during a ceasefire between two opposing factions or nations. They'll go in and they will keep the peace. And here's the thing about that is they're armed and they're willing to use force if necessary to enforce the ceasefire, the declaration of peace between these two parties. Whereas peacemaking doesn't use force. It doesn't use violence. Peacemakers go in and they mediate and they dialogue and they look to undo systems that cause the conflict in the first place. And so if you're a Christian and you're cheering on this administration and DHS using these scripture verses because, oh, we're such a Christian nation, you misunderstand the difference between peacekeeping and peacemaking. And this administration is not even interested in peacekeeping, let alone peacemaking. They are going into these places and enacting violence and then leaving. They're not maintaining peace. In Venezuela, roving bands are enacting violence against American citizens. In Nigeria and in Iraq, we're going in and we're dropping bombs and not enacting any other diplomacy or any other action that would install or promote peace. And so if you're a Christian still trying to like pretzel your way into this and supporting this because look, they care about peacemaking. No, they don't. They don't even care about peacekeeping. And you need to reconcile that. This is incompatible with the teachings of Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount from Matthew 5 to Matthew 7. Those two chapters are the manifesto for the kingdom of heaven. And Jesus is really clear about that, about like what that means to live and invite heaven to earth. And this administration does not encapsulate that on any level.